Hello, fellow members of the Midnight Society. Welcome back to another episode review from the show Are You Afraid of the Dark? Last time, we covered the tale of Station 109.1, Stig's second attempt to get into the Midnight Society by telling a story about a kid obsessed with death who gets more than he bargained for after listening to a radio station for lost souls. Tonight's narrative, from Betty Ann, is about a young girl who gets a job at a boutique only to discover something supernatural about the owner. Submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society, I call this Season 5, Episode 4, The Tale of the Mystical Mirror. We open on Tucker trying to make a wind turbine with a hot dog because at the rate he's spinning it, it will never be cooked. Gary shows up in a huff saying that the meeting isn't a picnic. Stig then continues one-upping Tucker in the competition to see which of the two I want to see punched in the throat more.
Lighten up, Chief. Have some mustard.
The girls arrive with Betty Ann saying that she is not comfortable and Kiki says that she can't blame her. It turns out that Betty Ann's mother wants her to get made up for a family portrait. Betty Ann doesn't like the idea of changing yourself to meet someone else's idea of beauty. Sam says it's just a little makeup, to which Betty Ann replies,
"And it's fine for some people, but I think we all sometimes place too much importance on looks."
I'll say, just watch any show on the CW. You can't get cast unless you have the face of a Botticelli and the body of a Greek god. Remember the 70s and the 80s when you could have ugly people on television? I would have been so popular back then.
I know.
Betty Ann says that looks can be deceiving and that sometimes mirrors lie. Do they, though?
What's the big deal?
The tale begins with a girl running through the woods. Okay, she's not so much running as she is scampering. The girl's name is Tanis, and she's being pursued by a woman in a dark cloak and hood. She stumbles into a small opening with a campfire, leading me to question whether they just redressed the campfire set and turned up the gas on the flames. Tanis is confronted by the cloaked figure again. She falls to the ground, dropping a large object with a logo on it before letting out a fantastic scream. We transition to daytime outside the Elysian Beauty Store. The logo on the sign matches the object that Tanis dropped, so clearly something is afoot at the beauty boutique. The shop name is also interesting. The Elysian Fields, sometimes called Elysium, was a paradise. The details of it changed a bit with each author, but it was a place where the honored dead were sent to become immortal in Greek mythology. It's an interesting name for a beauty shop that I'm sure is in no way foreshadowing anything. We meet our main character Cindy and her friend Laurel, who works at the beauty shop. Laurel is intent on getting Cindy a job there since they recently had a position open up.
What happened to the girl who used to work here?
She ran away from home. Can you believe it? Nobody knows where she went.
I know where she went. Wait. Is that little Amanda from the Tale of the Lonely Ghost all grown up? It is! Well, who's the Zeeb now, Beth?
You're a chicken and a snitch. I couldn't stand being you.
I mean, I can't stand being me, but you didn't have to say it out loud. Anyway, the girls enter the shop, which doesn't look like a shop at all, but the living room of a person who didn't want just one look. They wanted all the looks. Seriously, if I walked into a beauty shop with that ugly of an interior, I'd just walk right back out. I have standards, ladies, and I won't apologize for that.
Logical.
Inside the shop, we meet Vicky, another employee who is just a real sweetheart.
Hi, Vicky. Where's Miss Valenti?
How should I know?
Laurel starts putting some makeup on Cindy, who says that she's going to look like Zeebo the Clown. I mean, it's not a bad look, depending on the vibe you're putting out. Laurel disagrees with Cindy and says,
You won't. You should have seen Vicky when she first came here. What a Bowser.
I'm sorry, what now? Aside from the Mario villain, I'd never heard this term used, especially in a derogatory way, and had to look it up, which only confused me more. Bowser is a slang term used to describe someone as a buffoon or an imbecile. What does that have to do with looks? I mean, unless she meant she looked like the Mario villain, which, I mean, that doesn't seem fair. I'll bet Bowser's a hottie for his species. I mean, there's also the possibility that she did just call Vicky an idiot, and Vicky's too stupid to realize it, but that doesn't seem right. If anyone is familiar with the term Bowser used in a way to insult someone's looks, please let me know what it means in the comments. Vicky starts getting on Laurel's case about the touch-up session, citing that free stuff is only for employees. Laurel tells her to chill out before asking Cindy to grab her some blush on the counter, which results in...
Oh, yeah, sure. This is a new dress.
It was a bottle of clear liquid, probably a top coat. And the bottle fell on the counter. I doubt enough would have splashed onto the dress to ruin it. Don't be such a drama queen.
Laurel, let me know next time you bring in one of your duh friends.
What did she just say? I mean, I know what I heard, but I want to make sure I heard what she said.
Let me know next time you bring in one of your duh friends.
Yeah, I heard that right. I mean, if you're gonna go there, why not just call her retarded? That's what you're doing, and in what I would argue is a more offensive way. The word duh was all the rage in the 90s, and I'm not saying that nobody used it in a bad way, but I didn't know anyone who did. We would use it as a replacement for the word obviously when someone would say something that was already apparent to everyone else. For example, Are You Afraid of the Dark is the best show on Snick. Duh! Anyway, I'm going to stop focusing on this and get back to the jokes before I go on a full rant about this word and the corruption of language over time. I'll let it slide this time, Vicky, but only because you're a total Bowser. It is at this point that the owner of the shop arrives, Miss Valenti. Now, after seeing the name of the shop, I just had to know if the name of our villain also had some hidden meaning, and it does. In Latin, Valenti means influential, powerful, and potent. And as we will see, Miss Valenti is rather influential. She mentions that some new fashions have arrived, and...
Of course I want my two beauties to see them first.
That seems a weird thing to call your employees. What do you call your customers, the uglies? Anyway, she invites the girls over to her house to view the fashions. Vicky says that she'll be there, but Laurel has to decline because she has a date, to which Miss Valenti replies,
You don't know what you're missing.
I have to say, as a 14-year-old watching this, I would have only had eyes for Vicky. But as an adult, Miss Valenti, you're trying to seduce me.
I see.
Aren't you?
I've been looking for someone just like you.
Laurel introduces Cindy to Miss Valenti, and Cindy says that she's interested in applying for a job since the other girl left. Miss Valenti says that the women who shop at her store expect her beauties to have a certain style, presumably one that matches all the clashing floral patterns in the room. Cindy takes Miss Valenti's words to mean that she isn't right, but our vile seductress says that Cindy might be a diamond in the rough, and takes her into the back room to give her the she's all that treatment. Although, this came out first, so technically that movie gave Rachel Lee Cook the mystical mirror treatment. And if we want to get even more technical, both of these things really gave their stars the Ali Sheedy and the Breakfast Club treatment. Although we could even go further back to My Fair Lady in the 60s, which... Before the transformation, we learn that the shop has been around for a long time when Laurel says that her grandmother used to shop there, with the implication being that she shopped there when she was young, not last Tuesday with the gals from the home, although they would love the look of the place now. Cindy asks Miss Valenti how long she's owned the store, and she says,
Seems forever.
Okay, let's break it down. Immortal, obsessed with beauty. Vampire? Unlikely. It's daytime and she's out and about. Succubus? Possible, but I'll need more proof to back that up. Witch? I mean, some of my favorite witches steal life to remain young and beautiful, so I think we've got a strong contender. I mean, she's bewitched me. Stop it. Stop it. Focus. Focus on the episode. You are not luring me into a trap again, Miss Valenti.
I'm sure you'll be very happy here.
After the dolled-up Cindy is presented to the others, Miss Valenti presents her with a gift. Ignoring Miss Valenti's low blood sugar for a moment, if that is supposed to be a compact mirror, I believe you have a fundamental misunderstanding of the word compact. That thing is f***ing huge! Anyway, Miss Valenti heads into the back to get a juice box, and when Cindy peeks in on her, she sees... this lady has already been putting out the stranger danger vibes on you, and then you see this? I think it's time to leave, Cindy. And she does. Later that night after her shift is over. Damn it, Cindy!
I get it.
Earlier, while Cindy was getting her makeover, Laurel asked Vicky for her watch back. Apparently, she lent it to her for the week, but wanted to wear it on her date. After work, she realizes that she never got the watch back. Cindy suggests that they swing by Miss Valenti's and get the watch from Vicky before Laurel's date. Sure, I can't see that going wrong in any way. I hope you like being stood up, Ron, because it's definitely going to happen. Anyway, over at Miss Valenti's, she presents Vicky with a hat.
My friends would die if I got this.
Yeah, if you're friends with the Golden Girls, that is an ugly hat. Obviously, I'm looking at this with a male lens. I can't speak as to whether that's an attractive hat from the female perspective. All I'm saying is I wouldn't wear it. And I love hats. What the f***? Miss Valenti hands Vicky a mirror, and it immediately starts to have some effect on her while Miss Valenti shows off those influential skills I mentioned earlier.
Drink this, and you can have that.
I'm starting to think I was wrong about Miss Valenti being a witch. She's putting out some real date rapey vibes right now.
What's wrong, Vicky?
Oh, thank goodness. It was supernatural evil, not real world evil. I feel so much better. I mean, I feel bad for Vicky, but let's not forget, she's a Bowser, and probably a Zeeb as well.
Okay.
Cindy and Laurel approach Miss Valenti's house in an obvious day-for-night shot. The house is out near the woods, and Cindy hears a noise as they approach, but Laurel dismisses it as probably just a skunk. I would argue that a skunk should probably put some urgency into your pace. If that thing sprays you, I don't care what watch you're wearing. Ron will not appreciate your new fragrance.
Chill out.
Once at the house, the girls are surprised by Miss Valenti, who comes up behind them. Inside, they ask to see Vicky, but Miss Valenti says that she never showed up. Laurel then immediately gravitates towards the same hat that Vicky was into.
Is this the shipment from Milan?
No. The floppy flower hat was not from Milan. It was from the wardrobe department of the Blossom TV show. Get your facts straight.
Who told you this? Susie heard it from Lisa, who's best friends with Nancy, who goes out with Dennis's friend Robert with the bad skin, not handsome Robert. And he told Nancy, who told Lisa, who told Susie, who told me.
Miss Valenti tells Laurel to try something on. Laurel has eyes on the Blossom hat and says,
Vicky would die if she saw this.
I'm sure she would.
Is it weird that the more evil she gets, the more attractive I find her? I think I need some kind of professional help. Anyway, while Laurel plays dress-up, Cindy looks around the room until she sees... Okay, Cindy, at this point, this lady has been looking at you like you're on the menu, she had her weird magic mirror scene in the shop, and now she's lied to you about Vicky being at the house. I assumed you were going to call her out for lying, so you and Laurel can get the hell out of there.
Could you tell me where the bathroom is?
Yeah, or that. When nature calls, it doesn't like to leave a message, I guess, so, you do you.
Yes.
On her way to the bathroom, Cindy half-heartedly looks for Vicky and also notices some pictures of Miss Valenti, one dated 1952 and one dated 1923, with none of these red flags giving her any more urgency. Downstairs, Miss Valenti starts coming on to Laurel.
I want you to be one of my special beauties, Laurel.
What exactly is your plan here? You've already had one employee go missing. If the rest of them go missing on the same night, no one is going to believe they all just ran away. You are going to be suspect numero uno. Although, what am I thinking? She'll just magic her way out of it, Or use her feminine wiles at the very least and reenact that interrogation scene from Basic Instinct.
You ever, engage in any sadomasochistic activity?
Exactly what did you have in mind, Mr. Corelli?
Once in the bathroom, Cindy goes to apply some lipstick as Miss Valenti told her to, but notices there's no mirror in the room. So she breaks out the mega compact that she was gifted, only to discover... We also learn another very important thing in this scene, and that's where Sardo gets his supply of Dark Dragon Potion from.
It's my #1 bestseller.
Cindy makes her way downstairs using the compact to look at a painting of Miss Valenti. She appears as an old hag there as well, which seems odd. The idea here is that mirrors show Miss Valenti for what she really is. A photo captures the actual image of a person, whereas a painting is just an artist's representation of the subject, so why would the reflection of the painting be anything but the painting? Also, I can't be the only person here who's getting some intense deja vu.
Some tea?
In Captured Souls, Peter steals youth with mirrors to stay young forever, and cameras reveal his actual age. And here, Miss Valenti is stealing beauty, presumably to stay young and beautiful forever, with mirrors revealing her true form. This show has short 13-episode seasons, and we're only on season 5. The well can't be dry of new ideas already.
Yes.
Cindy uses the mirror to peek at Miss Valenti, confirming what the pictures have been relaying. She tries a couple of times to get Laurel to leave, even saying,
"Just do it!"
But Laurel is under the mirror's sway and refuses. Miss Valenti continues to put out, "I'm going to have an inappropriate relationship with an underage girl" vibes, while escorting Cindy to the door.
I think she'd like to stay for a while. Why don't you head home?
But she...
We'll be fine here.
I know Chris Hansen isn't around for an assist, but Cindy has seen what Miss Valenti really is, so there is no way she is just leaving Laurel alone to find out what happens at Ladies' Night down at the Witch Hut. Oh. Okay. Well, Laurel, sorry. You'll be missed. Cindy does double back to the house, but decides not to take any action until Laurel is already drinking from the roofied chalice. With Laurel snapped back to reality, the two girls make a break for it through the woods, but something is amiss with Laurel.
So, she's a dog.
Okay, I didn't see that coming, and at this stage I'm failing to see how this relates to beauty. Miss Valenti shows up saying that she finally has her 3 beauties. This causes Cindy to run away. Well, I mean, she's not so much running as she is sauntering. We cut to the campfire from the beginning of the story and see that they have repurposed the cages from the Tale of Watcher's woods, which now hold the 3 girls turned into what I believe are huskies. Miss Valenti sharpens a knife, and we find out why the girls have been turned into canines.
3 tongues of dog that spoke as woman fair. Your beauty will live in me eternally.
Yeah, that clears all that up, I think. Anyway, as Miss Valenti approaches the cages, Cindy sneaks up and grabs the magic mirror, threatening to break it if Miss Valenti doesn't release the girls. Miss Valenti starts using her Jedi mind tricks on Cindy, though.
Look into it, Cindy. Feel its power.
Why? Why would you look at it? You already saw it was making Laurel a cooperative zombie earlier, and clearly Miss Valenti doesn't want you breaking it, so why would you look at it? I mean, I'd look at it, but that's because this witch has me wrapped firmly around her finger at this point. And I don't even care that she's actually a withered hag. I see her real evil, beauty, I see her real beauty on the inside. Anyway, this isn't about me, Cindy, and I'll thank you to stop judging me.
Are you sure about this?
It seems as though Miss Valenti is winning, telling Cindy that beauty can get her anything she wants. She then asks Cindy what she really wants, and Cindy responds,
I want my father back, you son of a bitch.
Sorry, wrong clip, but I mean the same vibe.
I really want my friend back.
With the witch's power destroyed, I'm sure she just, disappears or something lame, knowing this show's budget. Well, looks like I'm gonna have to cancel those plans I made for me and Miss Valenti, which is unfortunate because those tickets were non-refundable, but on a positive note, there is only one appropriate reaction to that sequence. With the witch defeated, the girls turn back into themselves, and Cindy releases them from their cages. They all look at Miss Valenti's cloak, smoke still rising from inside it, and the tale ends with Cindy stating,
Guess you can't tell by looks if you're a beauty or a beast.
Back at the Midnight Society, Betty Ann says that the house and beauty store disappeared. Tucker then wastes no time in asking a stupid question.
So what are you, a beauty or a beast?
She is both, and you will treat her with the respect she deserves.
Neither. I'm just me.
I mean, what she said. The episode ends with Gary reluctantly allowing the weenie roast to commence.
All right, who wants hot dogs?
I do.
I'm sorry, you had those hot dogs skewered on a random tree branch that you left in the trees through the entire story? I hope everyone likes some added protein from the insects on their hot dogs.
Killjoy.
Now for the review. Overall, I thought this episode was okay. I really liked the underlying message about not changing yourself to please others and to just be yourself. As someone who has struggled with body dysmorphia their entire life, being comfortable in your own skin can be difficult even when you're not trying to please other people. The episode has some solid acting and effects, but suffers from some recycled ideas.
Are you looking for anything in particular?
The settings were rather forgettable. The shop really did just look like someone's living room. In fact, it could have just been another room in Miss Valenti's house, which looked great from the outside, but was pretty boring on the inside.
I guess she likes to be alone.
The story. While I love the concept of a witch stealing beauty, this just had too many elements from the Tale of the Captured Souls to feel unique. Like maybe if the story took place over a few days or a week instead of one night, and it was like the products, Miss Valenti's own brand of products that she mentioned that the girls were using that was stealing their beauty to feed her. You know, and it could be simple stuff. It starts off with like a zit, and so they use more of the product to cover up the zit. And then maybe some hair starts falling out or something like that. But whatever it is making them uglier in like a witch sense, almost like making them a withered hag. But it's subtle at first, and so they have to keep using the product, which makes things worse, and they don't realize it. You know, they could have done something like that, but they didn't. And like even the places that they did try to do something their own, they were just confusing. Why did the girls need to turn into dogs for her to sacrifice them to get their beauty? I'm not saying it couldn't have worked, but we desperately needed like 2 or 3 lines from a villain monologue, you know, from Miss Valenti before she goes to sacrifice them. You know, something about the sacrifice being to, I don't know, a dark moon goddess who was beautiful by day but a savage beast by night to justify the once beautiful girls being turned into dogs/wolves before being sacrificed. And not necessarily that exact thing, but just something.
I was so disappointed.
The scares. Well, there are no scares in this episode. I mean, there could have been, like when Cindy is using the mirrors, like if the evil images of the hag came to life for a jump scare or something, but I think they were intentionally leaning more into the seductive nature of beauty and how it can draw you in. Now, I will say this. Miss Valenti's death scene has to be one of the best effects I've seen on the show. That is not an easy thing to do, and they pulled it off, dare I say it, beautifully. Younger me wouldn't have found this one scary, but it might have convinced him that his grandmother's living room was secretly a beauty shop.
True beauty does not go unrewarded.
The acting in this episode was solid all around. I can't comment much on Tanis since she's barely in the episode, but her scream of terror lands her in the Hall of Fame. Vicky was great as the stuck-up snobby girl at the shop and made for a believable second victim. Laurel was a rock star as the best friend trying to get Cindy out of her shell. And I think we all know that Miss Bertram knows a thing or two about screaming. Cindy was also good. There were some scenes in the middle where I found her performance a bit dull, but I feel like she completely redeemed that in the showdown with the witch.
You have potential, Cindy.
The adult acting in this episode was fantastic. And I'm not just saying that because Miss Valenti has me under a love spell. She was seductive while also giving us the undertones of a predator playing with its food. I wish we could have gotten more of the evil coming out of her at the end, but the story didn't really allow her to go there.
It is something that must be held on to and nurtured.
Betty Ann, while this isn't my favorite story of yours, the Tale of the Mystical Mirror meets the approval of the Midnight Society. The Midnight Society members poll on this one was, at the time of recording this video, 93% in favor of, with 7% against, so my ruling stands. I vote that Betty Ann take over the Midnight Society when Gary gets arrested for all the murders.
Yeah.
Real quick announcement, everyone. Patreon has changed its format, so you can now become a patron for free if you want. Since there is now a paid tier and a free tier, I'm doing the Patreon acknowledgements a little different. Free patrons will get an acknowledgement in the credits, like I've always done, and paying patrons will have their names personally announced by me. If you want to support the channel on Patreon, you can do so at patreon.com/jackofallnerds, and for as little as $1 a month, you can help feed one of my starving puppets. The Sarah McLachlan song was supposed to play through that, but copyright issues. Anyway, thank you to my current patrons who are financially supporting the channel: Jimmy Purcell, Rick Maxwell, Sean Hart, Jay Booth, and Tony Evers. I will never bury any of you in the woods the way that Gary did David, Kristen, and Frank. I mean, unless you want me to, and then you know, I've got your back.
What do you really want?
I want to thank the following Midnight Society members for participating in this video's poll.
Look into the mirror and see what you desire. Think of it. How it can change your life. Beauty can bring you anything you want. You can be popular, successful, young. You can be young for all eternity.
Wait, hang on. I'm not that old. I mean, I'm only... Damn it, I am that old. All right, fine. We'll do it your way. Girls turned into dogs for you, and what is it for me? Hot guys turned into squirrels? I don't get it, but I'll do it. Names are on the screen.
Isn't that wonderful?
I couldn't go through with it, everyone. I mean, those squirrels were just too damn adorable. And they bite really hard. Anyway, what did you all think of Betty Ann's story? Did you see it as a kid? At what size does a compact become a novelty gift that you find at a Spencer's? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to check out the next episode on the tale of Prisoners Past. Until then, are you afraid of the dark? Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, I'm going to start the bidding. Got a like, get a like, get a like, got a like over here. Give it a share. Get a share, got a share over here. All right, don't forget to subscribe. Got a subscriber right there. Thank you, ma'am. All right, subscribe. Don't forget, click the bell, because someone click the bell. Got to click the bell over here to be notified when more videos go up. And right in the back, it's sold to the lady with the ugly hat.